In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install the Manyfold container on Unraid, step by step. Manyfold is a self-hosted web app for organizing your 3D models and STLs. Perfect if you're into 3D printing. Manyfold does require a couple things, namely Redis and a location to store the 3D model files. There's two ways we can go about this. You can either create a dedicated share for your 3D model files, or we can create a subfolder within an existing share and use that. That's the option I'm going to do. But if you want to create a share, let me show you how to do that real quick. In Unraid, up on the top menu bar up here, we're going to go to Shares. Down at the bottom, we'll click Add Share. Then you name it whatever you'd like. Something like Models would work. Give it a comment if you'd like. This is optional. I'll just put in here 3D Models. Set the storage location. I want that to be on the array. Allocation method, high water. The defaults are all fine for me. Basically, that's it. You go to the bottom, you click Add Share. Once the share has been created, if you want to be able to access it on a Windows machine, you'll have to scroll down under SMB security settings. You're going to set the export option here to yes, then hit apply. Then you'll click done. And now you'll see you have a data share over here called models. I don't really need this separate share here, so I'm going to go back in here and delete this real quick. There we go. That's been removed. Now I would like to put mine under my data share. I already have the data share set up, so I'm going to open up my file explorer and just browse there and create a folder. Let me drag that over here. I'm going to right click in here, go to new folder, and I'll call it models. Now that I've got my subfolder created for my 3D models, I'm going to go in there and create a couple other shares, namely a miscellaneous one and one for Gridfinity. There's a huge collection of Gridfinity STL files out there, so I figured why not break it down into its own separate library. And that's what these subfolders are going to be, are separate libraries. You don't have to do this. This is optional. I'm just showing you how to do it. So I'm going to right click, new folder, call one miscellaneous, and another one, new folder, and I'll call this one Gridfinity. If you're one of those people that already have a large collection of STL files, this is a great use case for a dedicated Unraid share on a NAS-rated drive. I'll drop links to a couple of the drives that I personally use down below. All right, now that we've got our share created, now we need to go install Redis. Redis and MariaDB databases both get used a lot on Unraid. So if you haven't turned on the ability to install a second instance, let me show you how to do that real quick. To do that, we're going to go to our Apps tab. Over on the left-hand side, scroll down a little bit, and you'll find the Settings. Click on Settings. The third option down here is Allow Install of a second instance. You want to set this to Yes. If yours is currently set to No, change it to Yes. Hit Apply. When it's done, go ahead and hit Done. Setting that to Yes will allow your system to install multiple instances of the same application. All right, we're still in our Apps tab here, so I'm going to go up to the search box in the top left, and I'm going to type in Redis. We'll search for that. And looking through the list, there are several different options here. I'm going to use the official one here, the official container. Once you find it, go ahead and hit install. If you get this attention window saying that one or more ports is in use, hang tight. We'll address that in a moment. Just go ahead and hit OK for now. All right, network is fine. Go down a little bit here. Network type, bridge. We can leave that alone. That's good there. Down at the bottom, we want to expand Show Docker Allocations. Up on Redis port here, 6379. I'm going to double click on that to highlight it. Hit Control F on the keyboard to open up the browser's find feature. And it shows me up here 3 results. We've got 1, 2 right here. Scrolling down, we've got number 3 right here, which is used by a different Redis container. If yours isn't used, just go ahead and increment by 1 or just pick a random port, whatever is going to be rememberable to you. Like I said, I usually go up or down 1. In this case, I'm going to go down 1. I'll do another search. Shows 0 results. So that port is available and free to use. So I'll go back over to my Redis port here, change this to 6378. Then I'm going to hide my Docker allocations just to clean it up, and then I'll hit apply. And while that's installing, why don't you come join us in Discord? The link is down in the description. Once that's done, go ahead and click done. All right, now let's jump over to our Dockers tab and make sure that Redis is actually running. And here's the new version that just installed, and it says it is running. So now let's go on to Manyfold. To install that, we need to go back to our Apps tab. And in the search option, I'm going to type in Manyfold and search for that item. You'll see there's 2 different options here. This is a beta version. I'd rather stick with Linuxserver's stable version. So find that version and click install. Here we are in the configuration side of the Manyfold container. First option we really care about here is network type. Make sure that's set to bridge, which it is by default. So you should be good there. All right, next item down is the web UI. You'll see the port number there is 3214. If you happen to get an alert about the port being in use, then you'll do the same thing we just did for the previous container. Scroll down to the bottom, expand Show Docker Allocations, double click on that port, Control F, You can see if it's in use or not. For me, it's just these two, so I'm good to move forward. If yours is in use, just change it up, down, until you find one that's clear. I'll close this find option, and we'll move on. Next down, path/libraries. This is going to be the data location for your 3D models. I put mine under my data share, under a folder called models. So you'd enter that location into this field, which that would be /mnt/user/ the name of whatever your share was. If you had it models, that's what you'd put in. Mine's under data and then models. Next, we've got database URL. If you read below, you'll see the database connection URL. For SQLite, you're going to use this command here. For Postgres or MariaDB, you use these commands. I'm going to use this first option here. It's the built-in SQLite. So you can just highlight that field there, copy it, and we'll paste it in above under the database URL field. And on that note, any app using a database really benefits from a UPS. Any sudden power loss can corrupt an SQLite or Redis database. So if you're running Unraid 24/7, I highly recommend a UPS. I've been using the GoldenMate UPS for over a year now. The link's below if you want to check it out. All right, next field, we've got Redis URL. In this field here, we're going to enter the location for our Redis container. If you had to change your port number like I did, then you'd want to make sure that port number change is reflected in this field here. Down below, it gives you the format that it's requesting. So we will just mimic that. Redis, :2// your server's IP address, a colon, and then the port number, and then another / and the database number. And I'm just going to put in 0. All right, next down, we've got the secret key base. Basically, you're just going to generate a random key here. It says down below that if you don't put one in, then it will generate one for you. I attempted to leave it blank and just let the container create it. But as you can tell with the little red asterisk, this is a mandatory field. It complained, wouldn't let me install it. I'm going to open up my password manager and just grab one from there. So I went into my Vault Warden password manager and I created a 16-digit random string of uppercase and lowercase letters. And I'm going to paste that in here. Oh, and if you're interested in Vault Warden, I'll leave a link to the video that I did down in the description below. All right, now that we're near the bottom, we can go ahead and hide Docker allocations just to clean things up. Scroll down a little bit more, and I'll hit apply. Once it's done, you know the drill. Hit done. All right, now let's go back to our Docker tab and turn on Autostart. We'll find our Redis container, make sure that's turned on. Our Manyfold container, we'll go over to the right and turn that one on as well. All right, now that they're installed, let's move on to the configuration. First, we're going to need some 3D models to play around with. If you have a collection of STL files, then move them over to your share. If not, go visit one of the many sites that offer free 3D models such as Printable, Thingiverse, MakerWorld. There's a number of them out there. I'll have a link to some of my favorites in the description. So let me copy a few over there for you real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, those are copied over, so let's move on. Let's go over to our Docker tab. On the left-hand side, find your Manyfold container. Click on its icon, drop down, and select Web UI. On the first login, you're going to need to create an account and a password. So for email, go ahead and put in your email. I'll do my demo account. For an account name, I'm just going to put in demo. Just enter whatever you'd like. And then password, put in a secure password. Once you've got that set, go ahead and hit save. Doesn't like my password. What, password's not strong enough? All right, password manager to the rescue. Hold on. That one doesn't look very good either. All right, let's throw in a few random characters here. There we go. All right, now that there's a secure password in there, go ahead and hit save. All right, now you get to follow the welcome prompts. Basically, next, continue, okay, whatever the options are. You can read through them. Just walks you through each item, tells you a little bit about what they are. All right, so the first thing we need to do now is to create a library. I'm going to call this one miscellaneous. We'll leave the default toggle turned on so that any new files that come into Manyfold, they'll get put to this folder by default. Under storage service, down below, we've got path. Here under path, we're going to set this to the library's location. If you have just one library, you map the container to an item called libraries, just like that. I've got subfolders in there, so I've got libraries inside of that folder. If you've done that and you want to have separate libraries, then you put in the name of the library that you'd like. I've got a subfolder in there called miscellaneous. Caption, this is an optional field, but you can put in here something like, miscellaneous 3D model files, whatever you want. You can choose the icon. This is all good for me. Any notes? Once you've got it set, go ahead and hit save. And our first library is created. Now let's go add another one. In the top right, we'll find this gear cogwheel icon up here next to the search box. We'll click onto that. Over on the left-hand side, we'll find libraries. Then back over on the right-hand side, you'll find new library. Go ahead and click on that box. This one I am going to call Gridfinity. I don't want it to be the default one, so I'll leave that toggled off. Under storage service, we're going to go to the path field, and we will enter the location for that library, which is /libraries/Gridfinity. Once again, caption, icon, notes, those are all optional. If you want to put them in, go for it. And then we'll hit save. All right, now that we've got the library set, I'm going to give you a little tour of the interface, and we'll talk about the options that are here. In the top left, we have got models. Go ahead and click on models. This will show you all the models that are in the system. So as you can tell, some Gridfinity models appeared. You find any item that you'd like to look at, go down to open, click on that. Once again, we've got more tool tips here. We'll go through that real quick. Done, yes, good. All right, it'll bring up the model. Inside of that file, there were 2 of them. So once again, we'll go open it up. Now we're into the actual 3D model. From here, you can click on it, drag it around, look all over, get a view of everything. Full 3D viewing there. Over on the right-hand side, we've got the option to download. The hamburger menu, we click on that. We can edit or we can delete it. On download, you've got a little drop-down triangle there. If you click on that, it'll give you some extra options. You can open it in several different slicers. If we go over off the model, we can scroll down. You'll see some more details about the instance, details, problem reporting, communities, that kind of stuff. Once we're done there, we're going to go back to the top and click on models again. You'll see on this main page here that you've got some actions over here, and then we've got tags down below there. Tags are useful for searching for models across all the collections and libraries. To add a tag, just above tags, you're going to hit Edit All Models. You're going to select the models that you want to tag. I'm going to find all the drawers. There's one here, this one. I think that's just a PDF file, so I'll skip that. Drawer, and that looks good. Scrolling down a little bit, you can set different items here. The one we're looking for are tags. It says add a tag. In here, we'll type in drawer. As you can see, drawers are already in here. If you create a tag that's not already there, like if I add an S, drawers, the add drawers option becomes available. Simple click on add whatever the name is, and it'll create that tag for you. I'm going to leave it on drawer by itself, just like that. Then at the very bottom, we're going to click on update selected models. Now, if we look up here, you'll see that the tag has been added to those. All right, back to the top. We've got creators. This is a list of all the 3D model creators that you've got in your system. Currently, I've got 11 models that are unassigned to a creator, and I've got 1 that is assigned to a creator. So if you've got a favorite creator that you find their prints are awesome and everything works great with them, and you like to collect their stuff, this is a nice way to go through and filter out the creators that you really love. All right, next option up here in the top is collections. Unassigned is the default collection, so anything that you bring in, it's going to get assigned to the unassigned collection. As you can tell here in my testing, I created one called bins. To create a new one, over on the right-hand side, you'll click on New Collection. I already have one for bins, so let's name this one Drawers. Then down below, under Caption, we'll give it a quick name here. This is optional. I'm just going to do a collection of drawers for Gridfinity. Description, I'm going to copy that, put it in the same thing, without the additional C. Once you've got it set up, in the bottom, click Save. Now, like we did for tags, you're going to select the models that you want in that collection. So I'll do this one, we'll do that one as well, maybe. There we go. Bins, rails, looks good. Scroll down. All right, then under collection, we want to make sure we actually select the one that we want. Now we hit Update Selected Models. Now you'll see the collection shows up here. There we go. Now let's scroll back up to the top. We'll go to Collections, and you'll see the 2 collections that I've got created so far, bins and drawers. So that's the collection side of it. Let's go back to the top here. We've got Add Content. Clicking on that allows you to upload models or to import other models from a URL. Next option over is Scan. Here we've got 2 different options. We can either scan for new files or we can rescan all models. Next to that, we've got an alert icon here. This is warnings, alerts, errors, that kind of stuff. This shows you problems and gives you action buttons to fix them. So we've got a MacBook Pro 2015 stand here. Click Organize Files, hit OK, and it'll go through and fix that problem. Next option over is the activity. Shows you the recent activity, and it says entries are discarded after 1 day. So you only get 1 day's worth of data here. Not bad, keeps it kind of cleaned up. All right, next option over is the little cogwheel, that's settings. In here, you'll see the statistics for your Manyfold container. Currently, I've got 12 models in here, 50 files, 1 creator, 2 collections, the basic stuff. Next option down over here is libraries. We've already been here. This is where you can create new libraries. It shows you both libraries that we've got so far. Shows you the free space available, any captions, required tags. Next down, we've got downloads. That there allows you to customize the download settings. You can proactively zip up all the files, so it makes downloads quick. You can have it automatically remove them after 24 hours. So if you just download something real quick, it's going to zip everything up and then allow you to download it. After 24 hours, it just cleans it up and gets rid of that zip file. Next down, we've got appearance, which is the normal stuff, customizes, the site appearance, name, tagline, that kind of stuff, logos. Next down, you've got mesh analysis. There's the settings for that. You can enable detect mesh errors. Next down, we've got multi-user. By default, Manyfold is in single user mode. You can enable multi-user mode. I don't have that option turned on. The default's great for me. You can enable multi-user by setting multi-user to enabled in the container settings. All right, down further, we've got integrations, the OAuth applications. If you want to integrate some authentication, this is where you do it at. Down below that, you've got integrations. In there, you can enable integrations with external services to enable things like metadata sync. All right, back to the top. Next option up here is search, which is just what you think it is. It's the search. Type in something you're searching for, and it should show up. There you go. And then to the right of that, we've got the little person icon, which is the settings for your preferences. Going into that, you've got all the normal stuff, language interfaces, tag clouds, list pages, model pages, problems, render, all kinds of stuff. That's pretty much it. The one nice thing about Manyfold is that you don't have to try to guess what each file is anymore, because I know a lot of STL files that I've downloaded are just random numbers. So it makes it difficult to figure out what it is without going into it and opening it up and seeing the image and going, oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Manyfold is fantastic because you can just come in here, you can just look at everything. It's all just kind of displayed right out in front. Makes it nice and easy. Oh, one other option here is this MacBook Pro stand here. It's actually got photographs, PNG files. If you open that up, it will cycle through those like so. So you can set this as the preview image. Then the actual model is down here. So if you go into there, that's the one you can manipulate. All right, back to what I was saying though. All right, the nice thing about Manyfold, like I said, is that you get to look at all the images just right on the bat here. It's searchable. It's really handy. If you've got a large collection of STL files, Manyfold's fantastic. With that being said, if you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and consider supporting the channel on Patreon. The link is in the description. Until then, check out one of these next. And I'll see you in that one.